A is for art. I love the Walker Art Center Sculpture Garden. It is located across from the Walker Art Center. It is a fun place because there are activities and concerts that take place in the garden itself. The garden opened September 1988. When it opened, they launched 10,000 balloons. In 1992, it was expanded to 11 acres and was the largest in the country. My favorite sculpture is the Spoon, Bridge, and Cherry. The spoon weighs 5,800 pounds, and the cherry weighs 1,200 pounds. In the summer, the cherry sprays water from its stem.
B is for Boundary Waters Canoe Area. The Boundary Waters Canoe Area is a large wilderness site. The Boundary Waters Canoe Area has over 1 million acres of lakes and dense forests. Hundreds of lakes spot this site. It has over 1,000 lakes and streams. The Boundary Waters Canoe Area has over 1,500 miles of canoe routes. Those are some facts about the Boundary Waters Canoe Area.
C is for the Capitol Building. The Capitol Building is so important to Minnesota because it is the capital of Minnesota. It took about 12 years of planning to build. The total cost was about $4,458,628.25. Why did it cost so much back then? It cost so much because it had a person riding a horse made out of pure gold. These are some reasons why the Capitol Building is so important to Minnesotans.
D is for Duluth. Duluth is the third largest city in Minnesota. It is by the western end of Lake Superior, with a distance of 140 miles from Minneapolis. Duluth Port is the largest non-saltwater port in the United States. Duluth ships iron ore, coal, and wheat. Each January, a 500-mile sled dog race begins and ends in Duluth. The winner earns about $10,000. Those are some facts about Duluth.
E is for Eagle Mountain. One of my favorite places in Minnesota is Eagle Mountain. Eagle Mountain is 2,301 feet high and is the highest point in Minnesota. Eagle Mountain is in Cook County, up north. There are fun things to do at Eagle Mountain, like tubing down the slopes, cross-country skiing, or seeing the Timberwolf, moose, bear, or eagle. Everyone should go to Eagle Mountain in Minnesota.
F is for Fort Snelling. The Dakota and the Ojibwe went to Fort Snelling to trade. Army officers and the Eastern tourists went to Fort Snelling to stay for a few days. Many people went to Fort Snelling to trade and talk about rules and play sports and dance. In 1950, people tried to save the buildings from being destroyed to make room for a highway. It is a national landmark, so it is protected. Fort Snelling is a cool place to learn about Frontier Days.
G is for Gophers football. Let me tell you about some of the Golden Gophers history. The Minnesota Gophers have been crowned the national champions 6 times. In 1934, 1935, 1936, 1940, 1941, and 1961. In fact, the 1936 team is considered the best team ever assembled. They won the championship game 6-0 because they missed the extra point. Their coach that year was a man named Bernie Bierman. These are some fun facts about the Gopher football.
H is for Lake Harriet. These are some facts about Lake Harriet. Lake Harriet has 13 different kinds of fish. It also has a walking trail, a biking trail, 2 beaches, and a place where there are concerts called the Band Shell. It has 335 acres of water. The water is 85 feet deep. Those are some facts about Lake Harriet.
J is for Joe Mauer. This is about Joe Mauer's life. He was offered to be a player on football teams Arizona and Miami before joining the Minnesota Twins. He played basketball in high school, football in his first year of college, and baseball in his second year of college. He has been named Major League Baseball All-Star in 2006, 2008, 2009, and 2010. Those are some facts about his life.
I is for Itasca State Park. Itasca State Park is the oldest park in Minnesota. It's only a 45-minute drive from Cass Lake. Something you will find is the headwater of the Mississippi River. It has the largest red pine and white pine in the state. You can hike and bike on trails, and that is what I stands for.
K is for Mikko Koivu, a great hockey star. Mikko Koivu is a great player. He was born March 12, 1983. He was a 6th overall pick for the Wild. He is 6'2" and 200 pounds. His position is center. He is left-handed. He played for Finland in the Olympics. He is a phenomenal player.
L is for loon. This paragraph is all about loons in Minnesota. There are a lot of loons in northern lakes. The loon is the state bird of Minnesota. They are green, black, and white in the summer. Baby loons ride on their mother's back in the water. They were named loons because of their weird walk that they do on land. That is all about loons in Minnesota.
M is for Minnehaha Falls. Minnehaha Falls is my project. This 53-foot waterfall is hidden among the trees of Minnehaha Park. First, soft, smooth limestone used to cover the waterfall, but was replaced with cement. This beautiful waterfall is in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I hope you think Minnehaha Falls is as cool as I do.
N is for Native Americans. This is about the Dakota Indian tribe. The first native tribes came here to this area 10,000 years ago. 500 years ago, the Dakota came here to hunt. The Dakota hunted elk, deer, and buffalo. The Dakota lived in teepees made of hides and tree-like things. Those are some things about the Dakota Indian tribe.
O is for Orr, Minnesota. Orr, Minnesota is a part of the Iron Range. The Iron Range is a part of northeastern Minnesota. It is an area that has a vast amount of different types of iron ore. The eastern part of the area is along the shore of Lake Superior, and the northern part is along the Canadian border. The Iron Range is an important part of Minnesota.
P is for Pipestone. These are some Pipestone facts. Pipestone's historic district is one of the largest in Minnesota. Do you know Pipestone celebrates Civil War days every even year in August? The Civil War days were August 14th and 15th. Pipestone is located in the southwest Minnesota, 5 miles from the border. Do you know that Pipestone National Park is a park just north of Pipestone? A Pipestone quarry lies less than a mile north of Pipestone, too. Those are some facts about Pipestone.
Q is for quarries in Minnesota.
Minnesota has a large amount of quarries.
A quarry is normally a deep pit that holds or already holds rocks and minerals.
The granite quarry in St. Cloud was the first quarry in Minnesota.
It opened in the 1800s.
In 1856 to 1866, there was a gold rush in Lake Vermilion.
The U.S. military used many quarries to help build Fort Snelling in 1820 to 1824.
You can find granite, gold, limestone, and marble quarries in Minnesota.
Quarries were very useful in the 1800s.
R is for raccoons of Minnesota. Raccoons might be cute if your term of cute is nasty. Raccoons will eat everything from corn to trash. Most raccoon stuff happens at night. Raccoons sound like hiss and whimpers. You will find raccoons all over Minnesota except the 3 upper northeast counties. That is what raccoons of Minnesota are all about.
S is for St. Paul. Many people visit St. Paul each day. It was officially named St. Paul in 1841. On March 3, 1849, Minnesota became a territory and St. Paul became the territorial capital. When Minnesota became the 32nd state in 1858, St. Paul remained Minnesota's capital. St. Paul is the capital of Minnesota. St. Paul is the second largest city in Minnesota. The population of St. Paul is 287,151 people. St. Paul is a very well-known place in Minnesota.
T is for Twins. The Twins have had many good players and still do. Some are as follows. Johan Santana was rated 3rd out of 50, but was sadly traded to the Mets. One of the next is Joe Mauer, who was rated 20th out of 50, and his batting average is around 380. Another is Justin Morneau, who was rated 27th out of 50. All are great players, but there are still more great players on the Twins.
U is for the University of Minnesota. University of Minnesota is the College of Minnesota. Many students from different countries come and learn to get jobs and become an adult. In fact, there are kids learning there right now. There are sports you can do there like basketball, football, gymnastics, swimming, and hockey. But all their names are Gophers, and their mascot is named Kofi the Gopher. And that is some facts about the University of Minnesota.
V is for Vikings. The Minnesota Vikings are a football team. The Minnesota Vikings have been around for 50 years. The Vikings have played in Super Bowls 4, 8, 9, and 11. They lost all of the Super Bowls. In 1988, Alan Page was inducted into the Hall of Fame. That's all the facts.
W is for World War I in Minnesota. There are many interesting facts about World War I in Minnesota. There were 123,000 people in Minnesota who helped win World War I. Minnesotans used iron ore to make guns and tanks. Minnesotans grew wheat to make bread to feed the soldiers. Minnesota played an important part in World War I.
X is for extreme temperatures. These are some facts about low temperatures in Minnesota. Minnesota has very cold winters. In the north, the average winter temperature is 2 degrees Fahrenheit. In the south, winter temperatures are 15 degrees Fahrenheit. It is 15 below up north and 30 below in the metro. Those are some facts about temperatures in Minnesota.
Y is for the yew tree. These are some facts on the yew tree that grow right here in Minnesota. The yew is a type of pine tree. It is commonly found in yards. The yew tree also has little red berries that the tree produces. Also, do not eat these berries because they might not be poisonous to birds, but they are to humans. Scientists have discovered that the red bark on the yew can help fight many cancers. And those are some facts on the yew tree.
Z is for the Minnesota Zoo. This is about the Minnesota Zoo. The Minnesota Zoo was made in 1978. When the zoo was made, they already had 1,200 animals and 238 species. The Dakota donated the Apple Valley parcel to the state in 1970. And if you fast forward to today, you'll experience a zoo that doubled its animal collection. More than 40 years ago, a vision was born for a zoo like no other place. Those are some facts about the Minnesota Zoo.